believe in fossilized definitions of developed and developing, but in substance. But if we use that definition that is in these conventions, 79%, call it 80, of what has caused greenhouse gases has been caused by developed countries. And as a result, it has led to 150 to $200 billion of loss and damage every year, which developing countries are spending more than half of that themselves. The poorest countries are suffering increased debt and increased loss to deal with this loss and damage. And so we cannot accept a retreat to volunteerism, which is what is in this text, a retreat to volunteerism. We believe they are full.
Consider those issues. Okay, thank you very much. On behalf of developing countries, do we have a representative from the...
We have a volunteer.
A volunteer. Sorry, Heike. Please go ahead on behalf of developed countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, co-chair, colleagues. Good morning. I'm speaking, but I have to clarify that our constituency is not one single group with one single voice, but you asked us to have one voice, so it's me, but I'm not speaking on behalf of the constituency that is not organized as one constituency, just to clarify that. I listened to Avi, we read the text, and I must say we have grave concerns, we have serious concerns with the text. And we look at it also from the perspective on how we can deliver jointly with what we decide or recommend here on impact for the particular vulnerable in the most efficient and effective way, how we can jointly make recommendations on a new form of global solidarity for the 21st century and the impacts that are coming in the climate crisis. And the text as it stands now, as I said, we have really grave concerns in key areas on how we really can deliver on this task in the form that the text has right now. And I would just highlight maybe 3 points. I heard your 4 points, but for us on the operating entity, on allocation, and certainly on the practicalities of the World Bank option and the conditionalities. I'm only talking about the practicalities here. So these are like 3 major concerns we have, where we want to see new language, progress, and happy to engage on this in more detail. From my perspective also in the process, we have listened to each other, we have shown flexibility, concessions on so many elements regarding fund and funding arrangements, on the sub-funds, on non-state board members, on the scope, on the board composition, just to highlight a couple, COP CMA, just to highlight a couple of points. So, but we are here and we will continue to listen and we will continue to seek flexibility and landing ground for the different interests. And I think when we all here with an honest and sincere approach to make this happen and to understand each other's interests, and to see how we can find language and concrete proposals that cover our joint interest, or maybe also our different interests, but try to find common ground for it. So we are here to work it out with you, to end this day, whenever it is, with a clean text. So in this spirit, we would ask the co-chairs then to take the guidance from the plenary and get back to us.
Thank you, Heike, for that intervention, not speaking on behalf of your constituencies, but reflecting the views of generally developed countries. So thank you very much. Okay, colleagues, I think it's clear that we still have further work to do as co-chairs. We're going to suspend the session. We're going to go off and do some further drafting, and then we'll engage with colleagues bilaterally through each of the seats to see whether or not the solutions that we've come up with are sufficient. The advisors will be here in the room. Board members and TC members continue to encourage you to meet in the corridors or wherever else. There is still a room upstairs if you want to self-organize on other issues. Please, if you do self-organize, make sure that there's a represented grouping. I would discourage small groupings that don't reflect consensus.
To self-organize, use your advisors to the extent you can, want, and so on. And please work on the text, go through the text on the funding arrangements, and please present the co-chairs a clean text on the funding arrangements in 2 hours, or however long it's going to take us to sort out. We will then be contacting you also once we have proposals on the issues related to the fund and the decision text. We would then be calling you for bilaterals. I'm sure Richard has got a clear idea as to how we're going to organize from the developing countries side. I probably don't have a very clear idea on how we're going to organize from the developed country side, but I'll get back to you on that, whether it's going to be by negotiating groups or by each seat. So with these clarifications, Georg, are you still confused, but perhaps at a higher level, or?
No, I had thought that we were going to discuss myself in plenary the funding arrangements, but I'm fine with having work done on that, and then you can bring something back for a discussion here. But I think it's good for us also to have that discussion that has been promised for quite a long while now, so just to ensure that that's actually, that we have time left for that also. Thanks.
Thanks, and precisely on that, I mean, while this is a big room, I believe also the other room is available that Mo and JC used yesterday for the discussions on sources. So if you wish to rather use that modality than the big room, but again, you know, what we're saying is that we now need to leave you, and we have work to do, and we'll be back. So I think.
Thank you, colleagues. So at that I'm going to suspend the session, and we'll be in touch with you via email or WhatsApp when we convene either here or through the bilaterals. Thank you.